So, for my weird experience paper, I decided to write about a strange out of body experience that I had about 3 years ago. It was freshman year of college, right at the start. I decided to write about this weird experience because, obviously, I've never personally experienced something like this or something that really just scared me or shook me to my core like this. But what I decided to write about was the experience itself, and if there was a way to maybe trigger like how these happened, and if there was a way to maybe make them happen on purpose, because I personally did not try or mean for this to happen. And the next last thing I decided to write about was what we can learn from these experiences at people, and because sometimes they're just scary and we don't think that we can learn something from it and we just try to forget about it. But I do think that when these experiences come, as scary as they can be, we do have to try our best to learn from it. So the one paragraph I will read is the one about what actually happened, and I tried to describe it the best I could, but I wrote, picture that you were lying in your bed in a pitch black room, nothing but silent buzzing in your ears and complete and utter silence around you. And it's the feeling of when silence is almost deafening and you get this buzzing in your ears to the point where it should just be pitch black quiet and just darkness, but you have this weird kind of scratching buzzing in your ears. And so I was just laying there in bed, and I kind of like lost my train of thought there. I was laying in bed, and it was kind of like it almost felt like something was kind of pulling me in a weird way that doesn't almost make sense. There's no good way to describe it, but it felt like I was almost falling deeper into something. And at certain points in the early on, when I was just kind of hearing this buzzing and laying there, I could pull myself out and sit up and be like, okay, that whatever. But then I kept lying there, and when I was just still lying there, it almost felt like I was leaving my body a little bit, and not in this like movie sense. I compared a lot to a movie in my paper. They have these people kind of slowly just come out of their bodies, and they sit above their bodies, just like floating and kind of flying around, like, whoa, look at there's me, like that's my body. But it's not like that. It is not this happy, like, whoa, I'm floating around in a ghost form. It's more of a like, what the hell is happening right now? Like, what is going on with my body and my head? Like, I don't know what's happening. And at this point, you cannot. I wasn't. It's almost like a sleep paralysis. I've never experienced that, but I know you can't get out of that, and it feels like it's real when it's happening. And this felt as real. I mean, I still do think it was real. I think it's something that happened, but and then it's not like you're out of your body just in this projected consciousness above you, like looking out at the world. It's you're still in your head, but your head in your body, but you also feel almost as if your consciousness has been blown out and you're experiencing not only just looking at your body, but these feelings and experiences and emotions and everything you experience as a normal human being, just not in your body. And whether that be feet away or whatever it is, it's a very strange thing to experience. And I've never personally tried to get here. I didn't try to do it that night. I wasn't attempting to do that night. But I feel like it was almost similar to a meditation thing where you're just so still and so blank minded that you're kind of getting to this different mind state. But when you're not trying to do that, it was just so terrifying. And that's my best theory on what it was and how it happened. Was almost a meditative, but like a violently meditative state. And I'm still not sure what caused it to happen so violently, or what happened to not be in my control. And lastly, I was thinking about, because it just, to me, it was just true terror. It was just pure fear. There was nothing more to it besides what was happening than the fear and terror I was feeling. So it's hard to think past that. That's probably why I haven't tried to do it again on purpose. But I think once we learn past that, we can learn a lot from these experiences, because people meditate for a reason, people do that for a reason. And if you could cause this, I feel like people would want to do it for a reason and would want to have this be a thing they could do to see what they learn from it and to see what they could potentially get out of it. And so, I chose a little bit of a different one. I didn't choose aliens or ghosts or stuff like that. I chose something that personally just happened to me, and I was the only one who experienced it. but it really did shake me. It was a weird experience is probably the best way to put it, because it was weird. It's the only way I can think about it, and it still even irks me a little bit thinking about it.